Today I'd like to talk about the wrong treatment with anorexia and how it can cause things to kind of backfire and get worse. I work with a 15-year-old girl who was diagnosed with anorexia recently. Upon hearing more of her details, she told me it started last March when the lockdown sort of kicked in and there's pressure from her exams. So she's feeling that life is getting out of control. And what the subconscious mind can do is can jump in and say, I know, let's control what we can control. Let's control eating. So I thought it was a good idea to control the eating. And unfortunately, when that idea starts, there's a chain reaction. Another part of the mind says, well, in order for that to work, let's tone down the appetite as well. And she had appetite loss, but she never used to. So this is just a recent thing. It's a psychosomatic, psychological thing. So I spoke with her father and said, oh, she's really, in a bad mood. She'll only stay in her room. She won't come out and talk to us. And we saw CAMS, the child services, and they've prescribed 3 main meals and 2 snacks. And she has to eat what we tell her to eat, these meal supplements and all these things. And so I thought, okay. So I spoke to her and it became apparent very quickly that she didn't want to be this way. And part of the problem was, well, it was the treatment for her. It just made things worse. So I called the family together and I pointed out, think about this for a second. This whole thing started because your daughter is trying to assert control over her life. She needs more control in her life. The treatment is designed to take away control from life. It's saying we're going to take away your mobile phone, which is, the heart of every teenager. It's a connection to the world and the friends. We're going to take away your mobile phone if you don't comply. You're not going to walk to school. You're not going to do exercise you love because that burns calories, And it's imposing these conditions on her, and she can only eat what CAMS have told her to eat. Now think about it. I don't know about you, but if I went to a restaurant and I said, oh, I'm looking forward to pasta, and the staff said, no, you're not having pasta, you're having steak. I'm not really in the mood for steak. You're having steak. Okay, that's just not on. Nobody likes that, but this is what the treatment is. They're trying to impose their version of what they think is right for her. This very top-down interventionist approach we're all suffering from. So I've done the opposite. I've said, we need to make her feel more in control. We need to look at ways of she is running the show on her terms. And there's a little bit more to it than that, but essentially that's what we did. And here's my prediction. I think very rapidly, this is just going to clear up. Because once you know where the real heart of the issue is and you can approach it that way, everything's going to fall in place. And the other moral of the story is that if somebody doesn't really understand the dynamics involved and prescribe ineffective, counterproductive therapies, we've got to question them. The parents didn't question them because they're saying, this is what the authorities have said. This is what CAMS have said, as if they're God or something. And they're not. If something's not working, there's a difference between what actually works and what should work. And the common sense way of, with ARFID, starve the child and you'll override. No, you won't. You're going to starve the child to the brink of death. And all these other things, they just don't work. Think about what the child needs and what will work, not what should work. So hopefully that can help some people in similar situations.